I want to start by just saying thank you to everybody within our organization. Going through some tough circumstances right now with COVID. Just the unbelievable effort that those guys in that locker room put forth. Drew Holiday in our thoughts. Bud, Charles, George Hill, Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, Dante, Brooke, everybody that's been affected through injury, COVID. This is a tight-knit organization. I was called upon to lead the charge this particular night, but this is a complete group effort. I take no credit for what happened tonight. Huge win. We won the battle today, but this war is far from over with that club on the other side. That's a top-level elite basketball club that we face tonight. Happened to be our night tonight, but this saga will indeed continue. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris, Wes Matthews, Bobby, their leadership, their grit, their refusal to quit, their attention to detail. Unbelievable. Our coaches that are here, Pat St. Andrews, who himself just came out of the protocol, Blaine Mueller, who just came out of the protocol, Chad Forcier, Ben Baker, Josh Oppenheimer, Mike Dunlap, Skylar Rimmer, Sidney Dobner, Carson, just everybody. Dan Smeechek. Everybody played a role, and just the positive vibes, just everybody thinking positive, everybody with a positive, good spirit, I think led to what we saw tonight. And I just want to humbly thank everybody. And Coach Bud, learning from him these 9 years, learning how to command a team, learning how to be efficient with your energy, pick and choosing your moments, how to emphasize what really needs to be done, simplify and emphasize what really needs to be done in order to be successful on both sides of the ball. I thank him for just teaching me, helping me, and trusting me, allowing me to grow under his tutelage. So, any questions?
Bobby has 20 in the first half. Just what did you think of his effort to I know Chris didn't have it going and maybe Giannis didn't have it going, but Bobby kind of carried you in the first?
That's Milwaukee Bucks basketball. It could be a different person any day of the week. He just happened to be hot tonight. I know he was a little peed off about what happened Wednesday against Toronto, him getting in early foul trouble, him kind of, being not all the way there mentally due to what he thought was getting a bad whistle. But he assured me that his focus was going to be there tonight, and he was locked in, all of them, and especially on the defensive end. The activity, the multiple efforts, the rebounding, he was huge.
Well, you all just talked about being better in the third quarter, and you talked about it, the guys talked about it. What did they do differently?
I think it all starts on the defensive end, not taking any plays off, and then offensively executing, knowing what you want to get, how you want it, where you want to get the ball, who you want to get the ball to. Again, staying disciplined and playing with the pass, disciplining your running habits, disciplining your spacing, being willing to come off the ball. Giannis, Chris, those guys see double teams all the time, and those guys being willing passers, and those guys having the confidence who were receiving the passes to step up and knock down shots. And the ball just kept humming all night. The ball was humming. I thought we set a good tone physically by setting good screens. And again, I told them before the game, it's ironic that we tie a record by scoring 77 points in the first half against Toronto, but then also setting a record for the lowest output of scoring in the third quarter. That can't happen. That distinct, extreme two-sided sword of being on different sides of the spectrum, it can't happen. Not for a team of our caliber, the high IQ guys we have in our locker room. So I think they took that to heart and just played it possession by possession. And it showed tonight. They were determined not to have a bad third quarter.
How important was that ending group in the first, or I guess it was the quarter, where Jordan was the one starter out there with Thanasis, Sandro, and the fact that it was just -2 with Harden and Durant out there to not just save legs, but to just keep that lead and keep that momentum.
Man, my hat's off to John Horst and Milt Newton and their crew for putting together great bodies on our roster, giving us a deep roster, guys who may not play a lot of minutes, but that doesn't mean that they can't play. And given opportunity, again, it's stressed every day in practice, in individual workouts, in shoot-around, in film study, the way we need to play. And once they step on the floor, they know our principles, they know what we want to get done defensively, they know we have to rebound before we run, and then when we get on the offensive end, they know, where they're going to be most effective. So, and they're competitive. I mean, they're only seeing what's on the front of the jersey. And obviously we know that's KD and that's James Harden and all of that, but when they're on the floor with them, man, they're trying to do everything in their power to make sure we get the advantage. And I think you saw that tonight, just relentlessness and a determination to not fold.
You started out, and I think for most of the game, had Chris on James and Wes on KD. I was just curious what your thought process went into that, and then how did you think those guys did in those matchups?
I thought those guys did great. Now, obviously, KD had 29, but he had to work. He had to work for every single bucket. Same with James. James is more methodical. We know the high volume of touches that they both are going to get. James being more on the ball, KD some on the ball, but more so they're looking for him. Wes is a workhorse. The game plan was to try to keep the ball out of KD's hands by any means possible. So, and denying him when he's off the ball, on the ball, keeping the crowd, having guys, defenders behind Wes, being that initial defender, and it just, I think, unleashed Wes and allowed him to just be more aggressive and again, trying to defend and make him work without fouling. Because another thing, you look, KD only had 8 free throws. James Harden only had 3, 11 combined free throws for those two. That's a phenomenal job defensively. So that definitely was the game plan, and that's why Wes Matthews is in the Bucks uniform. He's another one that's highly competitive, and there's no quit in him whatsoever.
Giannis ends the game with 9 assists. Just kind of what do you see from him in the second half once everyone kind of got going to control the game and close that thing out?
Absolutely, he comes with the killer knockout blow. Once he sees us in position, he knows what spots he wants to get to. He's going to put pressure on that defense to either stop him, and more times than not, they're going to have to foul him. And he's relentless as well in his ability to constantly attack the rim. And you put shooters around him, Chris, Wes, Bobby, Jordan. I mean, it just opens up a lot. So the opposing team, more times than not, oftentimes have to just pick their poison. And it just so happens tonight we were making shots and guys were confident. And because, again, we were playing with the pass. The passes were on time and on target. And Giannis, once, we saw the defense kind of falling back, he goes into attack mode and playing downhill. So it was just a perfect combination of everything that we try to preach and teach.
I think Chris was 2 of 9 in the first half. Just what was your message to him at halftime, and just kind of how did you see him come out in the third quarter? I think 15 points in the third quarter.
Chris is such a high IQ. I tease him all the time and call him Tom Brady. He's the Tom Brady of the team. Chris going and shooting, having a poor shooting half, it doesn't, you have to say very little to him. Yeah, he can self-correct pretty easy. And I think you saw that. And when he gets aggressive, and Giannis is being aggressive, and again, guys are making shots around them. I hate to be that opposing coach trying to figure out how to stop that, but he's Chris is just a mature, steady, mentally strong. It's just a whole different level of confidence coming off a championship run where he was just in the thick of things, allowing us to hoist up that trophy, and as well as getting the gold medal with his teammate Drew Holiday. So you can just see it in his eyes, man. He's unfazed. He just, again, he knows how to self-correct.
I know you're giving credit to everybody but yourself, but this is like your first win as the acting head coach. What will you remember about tonight?
Me doing the running man, I have to get splashed with water and ice. I'm sure you'll see that footage soon.
What was it like to get woke up? Is that in the locker room?
Yes.
What was it like to have that,
It's awesome, man. I love being here, man. I love, Coach Dunlap has this saying, don't mess with happy. And I am thoroughly happy and joyous to be a part of this organization. Our ownership group, we had a good dinner together last night. Well, two of them, Mike Fascitelli and Mark Lazary, at Mike's place. John was there, Peter Fagan, his brother Dan, everybody, and myself and a few other of the coaches. Just the camaraderie, the tight-knit, the Bucks family, as we like to call it, it's phenomenal. And to have played here, at another time when we were considered one of the better teams in the league and not be able to get the championship done, to come back as a coach and be able to do that, and the tone that Bud has set, the tone John set, our medical staff, our ownership group, the way they allow us the freedom to go out and get the best, highest quality, not only players, but talent that we can plug in all over the organization, that allows us to do what we did last July, and hopefully we're on pace to try to do again. You can't ask for a better situation. People are always looking on the other side of the fence, but there's some pretty good grass to lay out and have a picnic on right here in the Milwaukee Bucks. I love it. I love it.
Kane Pittman on Zoom, last one.
Hey, Darvin, how's it going, mate? Congratulations. I wanted to follow up on something Eric asked a little bit earlier about Giannis, and I think you mentioned the word orchestrate the offense, and I guess it's one thing to do that with a bunch of guys that he's familiar with, but some of those lineups hadn't played a single minute together so far this season. So for him to be able to do that and not want to be too aggressive in the patience that he shows, how unique is that to you, first of all, and how have you seen that grow? Obviously, you've been around it for a few years now.
He's just constantly working on his game, adding different things to his game. I think his leadership qualities on the floor, his feel for time and score, and again, him smelling blood in the water and knowing when to ramp it up and really put pressure on that team, that opposing team, to stop him, or he's going downhill, he's going to get a bucket, a foul, or both. I'm just thrilled to know that Drew Holiday is out, George Hill is out, and Giannis and Chris both. And thank God for Langston Galloway, who we just added. He gave us some great, huge minutes off the bench. But Chris and Giannis both having to split point guard duties. Giannis specifically, it just allowed me to win the argument with Coach Bud, because I've been telling him since we were in Atlanta, Giannis is our point guard. Giannis is the point guard of the Milwaukee Bucks. But that was before Drew Holiday. But I'm not shocked at all. And Bud's probably somewhere laughing when he sees this. But Giannis is the point guard.
All right, thanks, Darvin.
Yep, thank you guys.